When we first started the visual communication major back in 2004, it was a new thing. A guy named Chris Hanclosky came to my door and said, "Hey, tell me about this major. What's this major all about?" And I said, "Chris, this is a pan-sequence communication major for multimedia communicators." And he said, "Huh? What's that?" And so I dropped the educanese and I said, "Chris, really, this is a major about people that want to learn about graphics, design, multimedia, videography, photography, and apply that skill set to just about any area of communication that really appeals to him." So he said, "All right, sign me up. I'll do it." So Chris was one of our first visual communications majors, and he was also one of our first visual communications graduates. He went out on a limb with us when we were starting that major. I think we had about 15 or 20 students that signed up to do that, and he was one of the first that signed up. Something in that thing appealed to him. So he graduated in 2005 as one of our first graduates. Chris's father, Walt, who is over here tonight, taught in the media arts program here at USC for about 25 years, and I would occasionally see him at the gym. And so after Chris, we'd go over to the Blatt and we'd run together sometime. And I would ask him after Chris graduated, "Well, how's Chris doing? What's going on?" And I'd check in, and Walt told me, first of all, that Chris had graduated. He wanted to be here in Columbia. He was looking for a job, but so far nothing had turned up, but he was working on it. And I said, "Okay, good." Time would pass, and I'd see Walt at the gym again, and I'd ask, and the answer was the same: "Nothing yet." Still upbeat, optimistic, but he's still looking. Then after several months of this, I could tell that Walt was getting a little anxious about this, and I'd see him at the gym, and I'd be a little anxious too. You know, Chris is Walt's firstborn, and it kind of felt like my firstborn too. You know, we were really eager to see him launch from the nest. You know, and so I'd keep asking him. So a summer came and went, and I went away, went off for somewhere for summer, and came back in the fall, and went to the gym. There was Walt, you know. And I said, "Walt, how's it going?" You know, and he said, "Well, Chris has moved to Charleston. He's gotten a job. He's doing graphics for national brands like Starbucks and Panera Bread. He is happy. He's doing great." So Chris was happy, Walt was happy, and I was happy that I could go to the gym and my heart rate would only go up because I was running. So that was a little bit of a background of the first time Chris got out and started working. And it was kind of he was a pioneer, really, in this major. During this time when Chris was working on some of these national brands, he was doing graphics and multimedia work for these companies. He was also pursuing his other love, which was video. And I believe he was shooting video for a semi-pro hockey team, right? He was doing that on the side on the weekend, learning and refining his skills in video. This was kind of back when we were making these transitions from tape to digital stuff, so there was a lot of interesting transitions in workflow there, and Chris was taking advantage of that. And that led him to jobs as a videographer and a television and film producer for Fox, for CBS, for NBC, and finally ESPN, where he spent time going all over the Southeast shooting events for ESPN. I'll let him describe what then led him to go to the Charleston Post and Courier, but that gave him the basis of that. Those experience gave him the basis of that, where he ended up as a videographer and a multimedia producer. In 2014 and 2015, Charleston Post and Courier conducted a groundbreaking 8-month investigative series into the issue of domestic abuse in South Carolina. Sadly, we are regularly in one of the top 10 states with domestic abuse, particularly murders of women by people they know, people in their lives. It's a very sad story. Chris served as the videographer in that project, and his video serves as the lead piece in the multimedia version of a 7-part series on the postandcourier.com site. It's entitled "Till Death Do Us Part," and this series won the 2015 Pulitzer Prize for Public Service Journalism. So Chris, we want to recognize you tonight for going out on a limb with us and being one of those first pioneers. We want to say thank you for that. We also want to congratulate you for playing a role in producing this significant piece of public service journalism. And also tell you they're a pioneer in one more way. You were the first visual communications grad to win the Outstanding Alumni Award. So, ladies and gentlemen, Chris Hanclosky.
Thank you, Van. First and foremost, I'm a cameraman, so you want to ask me to put together a 2-minute video, I'll knock it out. You want to ask me to speak for 2 minutes, good luck. So this is tough. So you'll see me squirm a little bit, but bear with me for just a second. This is a 30-second spot for me, so I'm in and out. Okay. So yeah, the VisCom program was a trial and error thing for me. My dad was a media arts professor, and I decided to try something different. And I went to Van, talked to him about it, and he told me this is a program designed for students to come in and test the waters in a number of different areas of media. So I said, that's great. You know, I don't know what I want to do. So I came in, tested the waters, and you know, I think the end goal was to pick something that I wanted to dive into as a career. But in my case, and I think in a lot of other students' cases, that program led to a lot of other work for me. I didn't just specialize in one thing. I specialized in 4 or 5 things. One of them was not writing, which is why I have nothing here to read off of. But I did do a lot in the other things: the photography, the video, the graphic design. So when I graduated, I did get some work, some graphic design work, doing illustrations for Starbucks and Panera and CVS, and it was in a cube world, and I kind of wanted to get out of that, so I transitioned into sports video, and shot a lot of College of Charleston stuff, which kind of bled into working for Fox and ESPN in the end, which was fantastic. So a lot of traveling. I got married, and my wife was not pleased about all the traveling, so so I decided to find something else to do, which put me into the Post and Courier, which I became a page designer. So I went from video back to page design, or to design, and worked for them, and then transitioned into video and photo for them, which led to the Pulitzer work and a whole assortment of other things. My time there was fantastic. And I decided to leave after 10 years and do some more marketing and advertising work, which I was doing a lot of freelance work throughout that 10 years. So I just kind of decided to get out of news, especially after like the Emmanuel tragedy and stuff like that. So it took a lot for me to get out of it, but in the end, it's just a different page. So I moved off from that. Van, I hope you love my composition of the brick there. That took a lot of work. I love USC. It was my career here was, or my time here was fantastic, and it led me into so much. And I really appreciate that, Van. You know, I mean, it opened doors for me in 4 or 5 different areas of media. So, and that was because of you and your program. So I appreciate that, and I thank my family for being here, you know. And yeah, thank you. I get to shoot fun stuff, alligators and other things. So